You're good. All right, hello, welcome everybody to, can you hear me? I'll just speak loudly. Welcome to the June 11, 2024 City Commission meeting. My name is Chris Villa, and I'm your mayor, and I call this meeting to order. Val, please call the roll.
Commissioner Penny.
Here.
Commissioner Curry.
Here.
Commissioner Danio.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson. Mayor Villa.
Here, and at this time, I'll remind you all to please silence any electronic devices that may make noise at this time, and I'll ask you to please stand for the invocation, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance right afterwards. Would you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today as your humble servants. Dear Lord, please hear my prayer. I pray for our city, dear God. Please lift up every single citizen, every single business owner. Dear God, lift up every single employee that works for the city. I ask you to guide this commission in everything that we do. Dear Lord, speak to us through our soul. Dear God, lift up our citizenry, make them prosperous. And at this time, dear God, I ask you to stand and help us stand with our police department. Dear God, be with them to protect them, to keep them safe. But also, dear God, please lead the hearts and minds of the people to show them support. We know that you have placed them there to protect us all. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you all for that.
Thank you.
And I'm going to have a tough time reading up here because I had my eyes dilated just a couple hours ago. So I do know everything that is on the agenda. It's just going to be tough to read it off of here. So we're going to start with our public comments here tonight. That is the public's opportunity to speak about anything not on our agenda tonight. If you would like to speak, you'll have 5 minutes, and we'll ask for your name and address for the record. Would anybody like to speak tonight? Just raise your hand. In the back, you're the first one. And then Mr. Varga, I'll go to you next. Yes, sir. His name and
David Knox,
address.
460 Ridgewood. Rain.
What?
Rain. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it was only raining for an hour, and the intersection at 6 and Route 1 is completely flooded out. The water is up to here. There's a car stalled out in the middle of the road. I could hardly get down Carswell. I know it's not a simple problem. It's a very complex problem, but is there a plan? Don't we have any idea how to get rid of this water? Because people are losing their houses and businesses on account of the water, and it seems like it gets worse all the time. I don't think it's my imagination. That's my comment.
Thank you very much for your comments. Is there anyone else I told you, Mr. Varga, you'll be next. And then after Mr. Varga, is there anybody else here who would like to speak tonight to the City Commission? All right.
I was stuck in that star.
All right, just state your name and address.
My name's
for the
Gabriel
record.
Varga. I'm the pastor of the Ridgewood Avenue Baptist Church, Daytona Rescue Mission, 501 Ridgewood Avenue, Holly Hill. The reason I'm here today is we've just had a 3-month investigation by Sheriff Chitwood. 3 months, and scandal has been discovered, and it's not good. You shake your head, no, just listen. Don't be shaking your heads, no, commissioners and mayor.
Continue.
He's got a wonderful plan that he will get things straightened out, that you have refused. That's unconscionable, that you would turn down the best police leader in Florida, maybe one of the best in the United States, and you say you take care of it. You've been covering up for years. Yeah, roll your eyes up and down. You've been covered up for years, and you're about to try to do it again. You got the report and you say you won't talk about it for 45 days because you got to read it. It ought to be a public meeting here tonight.
This is a public meeting. Continue. And direct it towards
On
me.
that subject? Yeah, okay.
Continue.
You're taking my time up.
Go ahead.
Extra time.
No, continue.
Now, listen. You look bad enough. You better let Chitwood in here, because that's what the people want. The people want Chitwood in here to put some light on the darkness. You want to cover it up and go along with your shenanigans and oversee your own police department, that you can say jump and they say how high. Let's get an outside person in that to get this thing straightened out. So God bless you. And let me tell you this, I pray for our city. Mike Chitwood is ready and able to do it. He's offered it, and you've declined it. Shame on you. What is the matter with you? Who on earth would turn down a police officer like him that can come in and straighten out this scandal? And he's offered to do it, and he's willing to do it, and he wants to do it, and you've refused him and says, we ain't even going to talk about it for 45 days. Just like you've covered up scandal in the past. Now, I'm just telling you something. Boy, I got a lot of time left. I better read you the Bible or something, you know. On the other hand, all of you, none of you talk to me. He did once. He says, I ain't going to talk to you anymore because you don't live in Holly Hill. I'm the pastor of 2 churches here in Holly Hill. I'm on commissioner. Won't talk to me. Now he's running for mayor for the 3rd time. Shame on you. Now let me just tell you, this commission needs to step on. We've got too many elected officials that are career politicians. Which are the career? I know that's a career one for sure.
Please direct your comments towards me.
Here's the second one. And the third one.
I'm a career politician, but I'm terming now. Go ahead.
I'm doing the
Continue.
talking. Talk later if you want.
Oh, I will.
Let me just tell you this, that you better let Chitwood in here because it's what the family is for. Crossing your arms is a sign of rebellion, John Penny. That's a
Mr.
sign of
Varga,
rebellion.
please,
Now listen,
you're repeating yourself.
I can repeat all I want. I got 1:33.
Go ahead.
Just be
And when it
quiet.
ends, you will sit down.
Now, I'm requesting a talk with you about this scandal. You have a chance to read it yet, Mayor? I hope you have. I hope all of you have. Forte says he hadn't had a chance to read it yet. I don't know how long it takes to read. I don't know if the attorney has or not. But I request to talk with the mayor about it in the presence of a sheriff. The sheriff will be there too. Because I know you won't, none of you talk to me, but because you don't want light, you just want to go on. You claim to be the most wonderful government in town. Nobody will run against you. You got rigged elections in Holly Hill for years. Smile all you want, but the truth is coming out. And and you shall know the truth, and the truth will let you free. You ought to invite Chitwood up in with open arms to straighten out your mess. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people that are for it, and you'll see that.
Thank you, Mr. Varga. Is there anyone else in the audience? Yes, sir. Mr. Burns.
Arthur J. Burns, 294 Jeffrey Avenue, Holly Hill. Disclaimer, I'm a candidate for City Commission. Certainly, this is not rigged because I have an opponent. I'm shocked at what Mr. Varga had to say, because as I go around, as I talk to the citizens of Holly Hill, the ones that actually live in the city limits say, we want you to back the police, Mr. Burns, and that's my goal, is to back the police. I've seen the news. We've already selected a new police chief, and we've had Mark Barker as a consultant. Wonderful, wonderful guy. And every organization has problems at times. I believe that Holly Hill is going to overcome these problems, and our citizens will back our police. And it shouldn't be presented as it's the sheriff or the police. Sheriff Chitwood did a fine thing. He came in here when we were at a low point, and he helped to keep the things together. And once we had a plan, I assume, because I have no inside information, but from what I can see in the media, once we had a plan to fix the problem, Sheriff Chitwood left and reminded us that he's always there for us. If we need him, if we need his resources, he's right there because he is the sheriff of the county. And again, in my walking and my talking, the residents of Holly Hill tell me the police need our backing and they want to see our independent police department back in action as soon as we can get it done. I'm sorry that this is a political thing even, but I had to say something because the remarks that preceded mine were just outrageous. My remarks come from people that actually live within the city limits. Thank you.
I appreciate those comments from a good citizen. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to the commission tonight? Seeing none, I will close public participation. In my 8 years of office, I've never lost my cool listening to the public. I invite you every single meeting, Mr. Varga. I've only shown you respect. We have not received that back from you, sir. I don't want to hear you. You said I could speak. Well, that's good. My only question for you, sir, is why the heck don't you support our police? Why the heck don't you do that? All right, well then I'll speak to you in person and ask you that direct question. Because I'm going to call upon all of our citizens to back our police department, period. End of story. And I don't want to hear about Sheriff Chitwood taking over our department again. That's not going to happen. Now I'm moving on, and we're moving to the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from the May 28, 2024 regular city commission meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Would anybody like to speak on the minutes tonight?
No, sir.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the motion carries unanimously. Now, moving backwards, so we forgot to excuse Commissioner Johnson. I understand that he's in the hospital here tonight, so I will open the floor for a motion for excuse. So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to excuse Commissioner Johnson from Vice Mayor Penny, a second from Commissioner Curry. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this motion? Seeing none, I'll close public participation, and all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the motion carries unanimously. Now we'll move to our consent agenda, items 1 through 4. The action proposed is stated for each item on the consent agenda. Unless a city commissioner removes an item from the consent agenda, no discussion on individual items will occur, and a single motion will approve all items. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak on any item on the consent agenda tonight? Seeing none, I'll close public participation. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. No discussion is needed. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the motion carries 4-0. Val, did you have a question for me? Okay, thank you. All right, now we're going to move to our regular agenda tonight. The first one is Resolution 2024-R-40. Mr. Forte.
Resolution number 2024-R-40 by title only for first and only reading. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Holly Hill, Florida, approving an increase of the not-to-exceed cost of electrical repairs with Economy Electric for the wastewater division, water division, and facilities division from $50,000 annually to $75,000 annually, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. Mr. Forte.
Mayor, on April 11th, 2023, the commission approved a piggyback of Volusia County Master Agreement with Latour Enterprises, doing business as Economy Electric for the work that requires licensed professional electrical contractor for the repairs of the city's assets. A not-to-exceed cost was approved at $50,000 annually. Of the total established cost, $35,000 is allocated to the city's wastewater division and $10,000 to the water division and $5,000 to the facilities division. An aging infrastructure at the city's wastewater treatment facility has required substantial electrical work during the current fiscal year, with electrical repairs at the sewer plant costing $32,722 as of May 28th. The total electrical costs are $38,797 this fiscal year. In order to ensure that the adequate funding is available for emergency electrical repair for the remainder of the current fiscal year, staff recommended the not-to-exceed cost of the electrical repairs of the wastewater and water and facilities divisions to be increased to $75,000. A partial payment spreadsheet showing expenditures through May 14th is attached as Exhibit A. The master agreement between Volusia County and Latour Enterprises doing business as Economy Electric is included in the exhibit. I wanted to put this on as a regular agenda to give Antoine the opportunity to come up to the podium and explain just a little bit as to why we're having such electrical issues and concerns at those facilities.
All right. Mr. Curry, the floor is yours.
Antoine Coury, Public Works. As you are aware, the facilities at the wastewater treatment plant and water plant is a little bit outdated and a little bit old. We have ran into problems with controls and the generator. We live and die by power at the wastewater plant and the water plant. We had problems with the generator, and it was not the generator actually, it was the relays for the generator that shifts the power automatically from the FPL to our generator. And it failed a couple of times. That required additional investigations and finding out what was the cause. Plus, everything in the wastewater treatment plant is power. We have old pumps and a lot of equipment that runs 24/7, 365. This is an unfortunate occurrence. We never had it this bad, but we haven't spent all that cost this year, but we anticipate that there's some other issues that can come up and want to make sure that we have the availability to complete those repairs and keep the facilities moving forward. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Curry. Are there any questions for staff from the commission? All right, no questions. Thank you very much. All right, we will open this up to the public. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item here tonight? Seeing none, I'll close public participation. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Curry and a second from Commissioner Danio. Any discussion needed? No. All right, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Now we'll move to number 2, which is Resolution 2024-R-41. Mr. Simpson.
Resolution number 2024-R-41 by title only for first and only reading. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Holly Hill, Florida, relating to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection Drinking Water State Revolving Fund Loan Program, making findings, authorizing the loan application, authorizing the loan agreement, designated an authorized representative, providing assurances, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Forte.
Mayor, last year, the EPA sponsored some grants for public utilities as a result of Hurricanes Fiona and Ian. The DEP is coordinating grants for the EPA known as the Supplemental Appropriations for Hurricanes Fiona and Ian grants, also known as SAFI. The city utility applied for the grants. The SAFI grant applications were evaluated at a public meeting on February 14th, 2024. The city utility was informed on February 22nd of '24 that funding for the city's potential water plant improvements were appropriated pursuant to the city's request for inclusion of $11.25 million. The SAFI grants are being awarded through the Florida State Revolving Fund Loan program with no payment obligations. The city is required to complete the SAFI application on or before August 12, 2024. Mead and Hunt, Inc. is preparing the SAFI application for the city. Exhibit A is the city's grant application. The City Commission must review and approve the resolution to make the $11.25 million loan application and authorize the city manager to sign and facilitate the completion of the application requirements. The state will issue a SAFI agreement for the wastewater resiliency project based on the successful completion of the applications. The agreement shall be brought to the City Commission for ratification. FDEP grant schedule anticipated the agreements to be issued no later than November of 2024. The purpose of this tonight is that you open this up as an opportunity for the public to speak on this item.
Are there any questions for staff? I just want to reiterate, because I had a question at the Neighborhood Watch the other night, that, and it came up about, is this going to be debt? It is a loan, but can you just briefly explain, or actually, yeah, if you...
Yeah. Well, because there hasn't been a process, they're doing this grant under the State Revolving Fund loan application program, but there's no obligation to repay the loan.
So it's a loan in name only, is that correct?
Yeah, the DEP has
Just state your
Brad
name.
Blaze, Mead and Hunt. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection Bureau of Facility Funding has a SRF program that they have established and running. You all have worked through that before. And they will do all the disbursements of money, reimbursement requests, and manage it. It will be managed as a SRF loan with 100% principal forgiveness. That being said, there will be interim payment requests made based upon payments made to the contractor. After payment is made to the contractor, we will get refunded that money and take down all of that money. Upon successful completion of the project, the debt will be forgiven and there will be no debt service associated with that actual loan. There is the ability, if the project needs to go beyond what the grant has, you can modify that and borrow money at 0% interest through the SRF program. So we do not intend doing that, and the planning documents that we prepared plan to stay within that $11.25 million. But it is in fact a loan with 100% principal forgiveness.
Perfect. And that goes for the next item on the agenda as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I would just make sure any references in the minutes, I see a reference to wastewater. This is the water side. So just...
Say that one more time.
Any references to wastewater in 2024 R41 should be referenced to water. They're very similar. I just would make sure in the minutes that gets properly picked up. But you're right, the next item does address wastewater.
Okay,
This is well.
perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Brad. All right. Any further questions? Seeing none, we'll open this up to the public. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item tonight? Yes, sir.
Arthur J. Burns, 294 Jeffrey Avenue. Considering the comments during public comments about the water and supposedly people losing their homes, will any of these ordinances that are going through tonight help improve the stormwater system? No. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further questions from the audience or further comments? All right, seeing none, we'll close public comments. Mr. Forte, will you address that?
No, these are improvements at the water and wastewater plant and really don't have an effect on any of the flooding that we have going on. The flooding and the stormwater issues are being handled through other programs that the city is working on.
Towards long-term plans, and I will say I'd rather have US 1 flood than any houses. That's the way it happens. All right, back to this. We've closed public comments. I will open the floor for a motion of approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Vice Mayor Penny, a second from Commissioner Curry. Any discussion needed? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Now, number 3 is Resolution 2024-R-42. Mr. Simpson.
Resolution number 2024-R-42 by title only for first and only reading. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Holly Hill, Florida relating to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection Drinking Water State Revolving Fund Loan Program, making findings, authorizing the loan application, authorizing the loan agreement, designating an authorized representative, providing assurances, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. Mr. Forte.
So everything I read to you for the water plant applies to the wastewater plant, with the exception of the loan, and the grant dollar amount is $9.3 million for this project. But this one is for the wastewater side.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for staff from the commission? Seeing none, we'll open this up to the public. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to the commission about this item tonight? Seeing none, I'll close public participation. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Commissioner Danio and a second from? Second.
He started to before.
All right, from Vice
It
Mayor,
doesn't matter.
from the Vice Mayor Penny. Is there any discussion needed?
11.2.
All those in favor signify by, hold on one second.
Hold on one second.
This one's water.
Yeah, 42,
Is water, not wastewater.
Yeah, is that what they're looking for?
What?
22 is the wastewater. I don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah, we're on 42 right
Yeah,
now.
but I'm saying I don't know what they're
42 is
looking for.
wastewater at 9.3 million. 41 was water at 11.25
11.25.
million.
Yes.
Do what now?
Yeah, this 42 is
Yeah.
water, wastewater at 9.3 million.
11.25, get the wrong one
I don't see a problem with it. Is there
Well,
a typo?
What do you want, the resolution?
there. I'm on the resolution 20, R42. Mine references 11,250,000.
In the resolution of 42, section 2 has the, it was, looks like it was cut and paste out of the other one. It says that this is for the wastewater plant for 11.25, and really, section 2 of the resolution should say that this is for the water plant at 9.3 million.
Which
It does
attachment
say
is
water
that?
plant, but it says 11.25. So I think,
Yeah, there's a typo in the section 2, that 11.25 should say 9.3.
In the resolution printout?
In the resolution, the body of the resolution, section 2.
Oh, I see. It
Yeah.
says 11.25.
So we'll just make
So-
a note that that should say 9.3 million.
Is that the
But-
only thing that should change there?
but both of them say water treatment plant, so that needs to be
It also needs to say wastewater.
wastewater.
Finance
Did-
water treatment.
So they should be defined like that.
Do you need Brad to come up and help you, Joe?
No, I just got to make sure that the
All right, we'll give you a minute. We'll just-
11.25 million grant goes toward the water,
Water.
the water plant.
The one we just
Would-
approved.
Brad, would 41 and 42 look exactly the same except for the dollar amount, the reference to wastewater?
Yes.
Because I'm wondering if we just, did we put 1141
Yes,
twice?
come up to the podium.
There, and I apologize, I probably should have reviewed this closer before it came forward, but in section 2,
Right.
section 2, the D should be C for 2024 R42. Section 2, second sentence down, that drinking water SRF should be clean water SRF, should be C.
Is the title right?
The title is correct. No, that says drinking in both. Should say, this should be clean water.
I think we have the same resolution twice, and we don't have the wastewater resolution. So I think we need to get the wastewater resolution. I'm
You're
thinking,
right.
Antoine, if you have something to add, you can.
I think I should have that in my trash. or my-
Clean water is for the wastewater. And the 41 is the drinking water. Okay, yeah, this one, the resolution is incorrect.
They both
No,
say,
Yeah, it should be clean water, right there.
they both say
whereas-
drinking water.
The second line
I think the one I reviewed, the one that went out initially, had two different resolutions, and then there were $2 amounts. I was just trying to find that other
This one
resolution.
does say clean water, and this one says drinking
I'm
water.
trying to find it in the attachment.
Yeah,
Man, it read like-
this should be clean water,
The only
the
difference,
resolution, and let's say here, drinking water, that's,
Yeah, they both say
Clean.
drinking water.
yeah, clean, it should be clean. The second one should be clean, 42 should be clean.
Does anybody have the entire resolution for wastewater? That, I'd rather
As
not.
is,
As it came through, I would like to see that, that's the one we need to approve as opposed to trying to cut and paste, make changes to what we
I
have.
do not know, Scott, I really
That's what I
don't
wanna
know.
see.
Are we time
As-
critical on this for today?
Yes,
as I'm looking at Section 2 in my agenda here, the difference in Section 2 is WWTP or WTP. I imagine that's water and then versus wastewater, but it seems they're flipped. 41 is,
that's what happened.
oh, wastewater is 42.
No, yeah, it should be wastewater.
Okay.
If we, can we, Scott, do, instead of clean drinking water, we replace it all with clean water?
What I would just like to read, because when it came through initially, there were two separate distinct resolutions. I
Okay.
did two opinion
Well,
letters
what can
on
we
those.
do, Scott? I
I'm just trying to
cannot wait.
find, I'm trying to find
Okay,
the
you're gonna
correct
try to find
resolution,
it.
so we make sure
Okay.
the title's right, that's been read into the record. Only because you're dealing with a lot of money here.
Yeah,
And you,
Mr. Simpson, do you want more time on this? Do you want us to go to the public hearing and come back to this?
that's fine.
That would probably be good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find
All right.
that.
And Antoine, if you want to get with Scott, if he needs you, might want to stay close.
I'm going through my trash journal right now.
All right. So at this time, should I have the motions withdrawn, Mr. Simpson, just for now? Is that cleanest?
Yeah, go ahead and withdraw the motions.
All
We'll come back to this item. Just a
Will you withdraw your second and your motion? Your second, your motion, I think? Whose motion? Oh, your
He
motion.
seconded, he motioned.
first motion.
All right. All right, so we will come back to item 3. We're going to move to our public hearings now. And we have one ordinance, which is 2024-0-3078 for second reading. Mr. Forte, do you want to read that one into record for us?
Sure.
Unless you want to read it, Brian.
I've got it here.
Okay.
Okay, an ordinance of the City of Holly Hill, Florida, creating separation requirements and adding definitions, amending sections 114-5353 and 114-593 and 78-14 of the city code, providing for codification, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Forte. Mr. Walker, floor is yours.
Yes, Mayor, Commission, just a quick recap. This ordinance is to basically define what a pharmacy is. We do not have a definition in our code at this point. So we define what a pharmacy is, and we include in the definition of a pharmacy licensed medical marijuana treatment centers and dispensaries. The main reason for doing that is because the state says that whatever you do to a pharmacy, you or whatever you do to a medical marijuana facility, you have to also do with a pharmacy. They are treated the same. And it also provides a distance between any pharmacies, as the crow flies, of 1 mile. So staff continues to recommend the ordinance, and nothing has changed since first reading.
Thank you. And wasn't there an addition to this? Aren't we clarifying that this isn't just medical marijuana, it would be marijuana in general?
At this point, staff would recommend keeping it the way that we originally presented it, which is medical marijuana. If you're doing this in anticipation of Amendment 3, staff's recommendation is to hold off and see what happens with Amendment 3. It's easier to quickly amend or make a change once we know what is actually going to happen than to try to write an ordinance in anticipation of something that may or may not happen.
But what if, we're playing what ifs here. Let's say that Amendment 3 is passed and it goes to the legislature, and then they say, well, if you didn't have something in there before the election that prohibited marijuana facilities, then you're not going to be able to create that like they did with the Airbnbs. Are you concerned about that?
I wouldn't be concerned with
No.
that because marijuana is illegal right now.
Right. We don't have, they can't say, well, you didn't have anything in place. We didn't have anything in place because it wasn't allowed.
Okay.
But we do have something on the books creating a distance requirement. And, as we get closer to it as well, there may be things that start to become evident that we can, more of a direction of how people are going to go. We may start to be able to see what other jurisdictions are doing, kind of get a feel for the direction of things. So staff's recommendation is to wait. We can also be ready to move very quickly when and if it does pass. But at this point, trying to write something in anticipation of something that may or may not happen, there are often unintended consequences with doing something like that.
Good answer. Yeah. Thank you. Good thoughts. Any other questions?
There were, Commissioner Curry had asked a question, and one, you probably know that the CDB oil bill didn't pass.
Right, he vetoed
by
it,
the governor. I read articles that said the reason the governor vetoed it is he wants that industry to come out in opposition to
Against
recreational
Amendment 3.
marijuana.
Yep.
So, I guess that's politics makes straight and bedfellows. But, so I looked into, your question was about regulating vaping, that type. The state has preempted the regulation of any nicotine dispensing device.
Okay.
So if they have any nicotine in there, it's preempted to the state. And you got 3 levels. But you got up to 0.3 THC. That is your CDB oil thing, hemp, things like that. That is regulated under the state Hemp Act, I think it's
Federal
called.
Farm Act.
There's a state Farm Act too, I think. But there's a Farm Act that basically says they regulate the manufacturing, the production, the sale, that they have exclusive jurisdiction regulating that. The interesting thing is when you go from 0.3 to 0.8 THC, that is low THC level, is what it's called. And that is actually considered medical marijuana along with medical marijuana. It's within the definition of medical marijuana. So the way we regulate medical marijuana between 0.3 THC and 0.8, I think it falls within our regulations of medical marijuana. Because that's by definition, it is considered medical marijuana.
So the nicotine one, the regular vapes, if you will, we cannot have any say over that.
If they have nicotine in them, it's all
And that's
regulated
what
by-
they all have if they're not, medical marijuana.
Yeah, they're all, it's regulated, it's preempted by the state.
I don't
I
have.
had a feeling that was going
resolutions. I have
to
the
be an
email.
answer.
I wasn't copied when I sent that straight to you. And that was like.
Did you have something more on this, Mr. Forte?
May 17th?
What's that?
Are you talking about this, or?
No, I'm talking about
Okay,
the previous
all
times.
Okay.
Are we up to this one now?
With that, are there any further questions from the commission?
These are May 17th,
All right, we will open this up to the public. Heidi?
or somewhere around that time.
Let's see. What's the resolution number? 2020.
Hello, state your name.
Hi there, I'm Heidi Heller, 460 Ridgewood Avenue. A little nuance, just like we were having before, on the ordinance, Section 7, a little clarification might be needed. It says, quote, "Pharmacies that do not meet the requirements of this ordinance and that exist at the time of the passage of this ordinance may be continue." I don't know what may be continue is. Maybe it should be clarified to just say may remain, are exempt from this ordinance, or may continue as currently operational instead of may be continue. Thank you.
Any further input? Yes, sir. State your
Gabriel
name.
Varga, 501 Ridgewood Avenue, pastor, Ridgewood Avenue Baptist Church, Daytona Rescue Mission. Very important thing to me, this marijuana. We've talked about it a few meetings back, and there were some changes going to be made, and then they said that was off, and there was some things said about the marijuana that they're selling at all the 7-Elevens and all the gas stations, and one of the commissioners, Commissioner Penny, said that that's unenforceable. I think if we got maybe better enforcement, that it could be enforceable. Maybe Sheriff Chitwood could enforce it, because evidently you folks say that your police department can enforce it. That, what was it? It's in the public meeting. I was here at that meeting. Now, is this changing these ordinances? Is it going to make it easier to put in a marijuana shop or harder? Harder? I was at the hospital with my wife. She's sick. I don't have my hearing aid, so I missed most of it. So what did Brian say? He wants to hold this, or are you going to vote on it?
No, we're voting on it.
Huh?
We are voting on it.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll tell you, this marijuana, check with them in Colorado, check with them in California, check with them. It's the second biggest drug problem, second biggest drug problem that we have in this city, in this country. Alcohol, #1 drug problem. #2 drug problem, marijuana. We've been selling a big bill of goods run by Morgan & Morgan and others, and now of course, you know, anything you do to allow marijuana, you're against federal code. It's against, marijuana's against the law federally to sell. And Morgan & Morgan got the thing through here with millions of dollars here in this a particular state, but now the governor, he's fighting this recreational marijuana, but you don't need recreational, because the sign right down the street, I read it on the door over here on 10th Street, the marijuana doctor, and he says he'd guarantee you he'd get you a marijuana card. I mean, you go in there and tell him, get a headache once in a while or whatever. Tell them anything you want. You got a marijuana card. You don't even need the recreational, I guess. And now they're trying to decriminalize marijuana. So then we'll have another major problem. More accidents on the highway. Alcohol #1, marijuana #2. Deaths on the highway, and so on and so forth. How to recommend that our city stand firm against marijuana, because we can as an independent city. You don't have to follow what the state says. I think it might be wise to follow what the federal government says and stay away from marijuana completely. Let's be not known as pro-alcohol or pro-marijuana, but against it. And as a city body, recommend highly that you fight it. And if this will help, because like I say, I've been with my wife, and I left my hearing aids home, so I'm sorry, I couldn't listen to things much as I could. But if this will help to keep marijuana places from coming in, and do everything you can to get them out and stop them. So that's my 2 cents.
You have to reread that.
Thank you, Mr. Varga. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to the commission tonight on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll close public participation, and I will entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. All right, we have a motion for approval from Commissioner Curry and a second from Vice Mayor Penny. Discussion? Would you like to clarify your comment?
I would like to just clarify, this is about regulating medical marijuana facilities because it's legal in the state of Florida, and our voters voted for it at 78%. So that tells me, as one of the elected officials in this city, that 78% of my voters want it. So we must go by the desires of the voters, I believe. So that's why I will be supporting it. Why do they always
I don't wanna-
leave before our comments?
I don't want to put words into your mouth, but I don't think you were saying our police couldn't enforce it. but
Absolutely not.
I don't think
Our
that's what
our police department is more than capable.
I was
I just
pretty
wonder
sure.
why he doesn't stick around for our comments.
What?
All right, this is a fun meeting. Vice Mayor, do you have any comments? Just leave it there? I think I'll leave it there too. How about you, John?
leave it there, too.
All right. With that, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Brian, for all the hard work you put into this. I know you've been dealing with this for a long time, so thank you for that. All right, and now we're going to go back to Resolution 3 off of our regular agenda, but looks like we're still working it out a little bit.
We're getting closer.
All right, getting closer.
Is that reference to DW?
We will just hold on a few minutes.
For 42?
Want to start our comments?
We could, I mean, if it's going to be 1 minute, then
Mine won't be as long now.
let's just give them a minute.
Okay.
And then if they're kind of at a standstill, then we'll,
Mine were going to be a little
Anything
lengthy.
else in this
but it
mine
won't be
too.
now.
Probably better that way.
Falls on deaf ears anyway.
This is true. I've never seen a person that
My 8 years, I never,
claimed to be a man of God that spread such hatred. Oh, my goodness.
2 Corinthians 13:5. That's all I got to say.
Should be able to reference those by paragraph and section.
Yeah, make those changes, yeah.
I'll look it up.
So did
I
you
like
have a copy
this.
of the resolution the way it should be?
What's that?
I'd have to go back and look at the emails you're
They
saying.
think, he said that they.
No,
think
no,
it's
no,
accurate,
examine
so-
yourself. Take a look in there
We sent over the
sometimes.
draft form, but I don't know specifically what my staff's sent, and so I...
You know, it would be awesome if he just would speak the truth. I mean,
So my,
First thing in the
I'd sit here and listen to him all night.
draft form for this resolution, for 42. I just want to compare that.
I think he
to
has a
this.
truthful
All right, make sure
bone in
about
his
examining
body.
yourself.
But we're going to make this
All
change
public
tonight.
record.
Okay.
So 41 is okay? I'm eating chocolate. Yes. We have to fix 42.
I think so. That's what I'm doing. Okay, we're,
All right, we're ready?
okay, yes.
All right.
We need to reread the title for 2024-R-42, and then after I read the title, I will identify the changes in the resolution that are before you to reflect that this was the wastewater part, and those will be reflected in the resolution that is approved. You can make the motion to approve it as modified, and then you will be signing a version that says exactly what we're modifying it to. And Brad's going to send the form that he sent here tomorrow to me, and I will confirm that the form that he sent matches what we ended up adopting. So I think that's the best we can do.
And if it doesn't match, then can we
We'll
undo
deal with
it?
that tomorrow.
We'll do a special meeting.
Yeah, just have to do it, because I think
Okay.
we're on a very tight
Okay.
timeframe here.
Yeah,
So-
so we'll just do a special meeting if
If need be,
it's
but,
not.
yeah. But I think everybody's, Brad looked at it, these are the changes. Antoine looked at it, these are the changes. They all agree that these are the changes.
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and read it in the record?
Yeah, just, engineer's writing's not good. So this is CWSRF. Okay, you should be a doctor. All right. Resolution number 2024-R-42 by title only for first and only reading. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Holly Hill, Florida, relating to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection Clean Water State Revolving Fund Loan Program, making findings, authorizing the loan application, authorizing the loan agreement, designating an authorized representative, providing assurances, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. The third whereas, where it says, whereas the drinking water state revolving loan, that will be changed to clean water state revolving loan. And where it says DWSRF, next to that in that whereas,
CW.
it will be CWSRF. Is the project number right?
Yes.
Okay. And the next whereas, which would be the fourth whereas, where it refers to drinking water state revolving fund, it will be clean water state revolving fund. In section 2, I will go ahead and read this in its entirety. The City of Holly Hill, Florida is authorized to apply for a loan from the FDEP's CWSRF in the amount of $9,300,000 to finance the wastewater treatment plant WWTP improvements and resiliency upgrades. So what we would need is a motion to approve Resolution 2024-R-42 with the changes I just outlined to you.
All right, I'll entertain that motion now. I'll open it up to the public after.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion as stated by our attorney, Mr. Simpson, moved by Vice Mayor Penny, and seconded by Commissioner Daniel. At this time, I will open it up to the public. Would anybody like to comment on this motion? Seeing none, I'll close public comments. I will open the floor for discussion. Any discussion?
Thanks for getting it right.
All right, so we have a motion and a second on the floor. We're going to take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the motion carries 4-0. Thank you guys for taking care of that on the fly. Now we're going to move to communications. Mr. Forte, do you have anything for us tonight?
Well, the item regarding the plaque discussion, I'm going to pull that tonight, and we'll move it to a work session if we need to. There's no reason to go over that this evening. And I just want to make you aware that, with the heavy rains that are happening right now, we do have the typical flooding on Riverside Drive.
Right.
And on Ridgewood Avenue. The law enforcement is out there, and public works people are out there, and they're blocking the roads and taking care of what we can. And as soon as the rain stops and the tides go down, the water will go out.
Great. All right. Well, and Mr. Forte, I'm going to ask you to speak on an email here today that you sent out, and it is with great excitement to turn it over to Mr. Forte to tell you who was hired or looking to be hired now as our next police chief. Mr. Forte, would you like to go into that?
Sure. I sent an email out today to all the employees and copied a couple of other people, including the sheriff, to let them know that we have made an offer to Byron K. Williams, who is a captain of the Daytona Beach Police Department, and he has accepted the position. He comes with a wealth of experience. His resume was in the emails that I sent out to everyone. We're going through the typical process of hiring someone in that position. We've asked Chief Fowler from Daytona Beach Shores to do the law enforcement background check on him. Fortunately, he lives just west of the city, off of LPGA, near Derbyshire. We have an anticipated hire date of Monday, July 15th for him. Between now and then, we will set up one, possibly two events. One will be a swearing-in ceremony that would be on July 9th. We would like to have him sworn in before his actual start date. And the other would be a meet and greet with the community, and we just have to determine what day that would be, that would best fit his schedule, the commission's schedule, and availability to the community at an hour that would be best for them.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Mr. Forte. I know how much time you've spent on this whole entire process, and to whittle it down, I know the pool of candidates was really strong, and your job was a tough one, and I just really appreciate the other local chiefs also stepping up and helping us out and helping you out in that process. So thank you for what you did. I'm very much looking forward to meeting the new chief, as long as we go ahead with everything. But and so I'm looking forward to. I thought it would be very important to have a meet the chief type event before he was sworn in, so that way we can advertise it from the city to the citizens to say, come and meet the new chief one-on-one. I envision it with him explaining who he is, his background, what his family is, who he is as a person, and then also his policing priorities and what he looks for our future of our department, as we are here to rebuild this department and to rebuild that trust within our agency. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And so I think that the whole commission should be there for this. So it would have to be a publicly advertised event, Mrs. Manning. So once we get with BK, I don't know what he's going to want to be called, but
Well, he'll probably be called chief when he gets here.
yeah. I hesitate to say it now because he's not sworn in.
It's not sworn in, but
So-
right now he goes by Captain
Captain.
Williams in Daytona Beach.
Okay, Captain Williams.
He said somehow he gets called BK. So
Okay, yeah. So, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm glad that we're taking this first step forward. And I think the future is bright. I think that it's an interesting time because there's not many times in history where you can pause things and start over. And I think that what this chief is going to do, and I know what Mr. Forte is looking to do, is rebuild from the ground up and to make this the best police department around. And I don't think we're going to have much talk about Chitwood taking us over anymore. At least that's my hope. So, along with that, Mr. Forte and I met with our police officers last couple weeks, 2 times, and I was there to listen on behalf of the commission the first time, to hear them out. And the reason I wanted to bring it up was I wanted to give a lot of props to our city manager, because there was a lot of rumors going on downstairs and a lot of uncertainty for a lot of our young men and women about their career and where they would go next and what would happen. And Mr. Forte and I felt that it was imperative that we cut out all the rumors and talk to them face to face. And so I sat in on the meeting that was right in this room, and I have to commend him for his honesty and for not backing down in any way, shape, or form. He just told them transparently the truth, and that upset some of them initially. But I don't want to say it in a bad way, upsetting. It showed, and Mr. Walker was in the room as well, and we all walked out of there. I had a new sense for our police department. They were passionate. They asked us, please let us rebuild. This is our agency that we love, that we want to make sure that it regains all of the trust and respect that it deserves, just because 1 or 2 individuals were, I won't go there, but that shouldn't hurt the whole force. So I walked out of there with a renewed sense of passion for them. And so, so we met with them a week later, and that was a much happier discussion. And Joe let them know the direction that the city is headed with rebuilding, and they were overjoyed. So I just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Manager, for taking that
Very welcome, Mayor.
right on the head and speaking the truth directly to them. I've always told people in the community that although you and I don't always agree on everything, there's sometimes we have some good discussions in your office, but the one thing I can always count on is that you're going to tell the truth and that you have integrity, and nobody can impugn that. So I just wanted to say that publicly. I appreciate you. Next, I just want to say to the citizens, we will be calling upon you to support our police department. And for anybody listening back, I said at the Neighborhood Watch the other night, I said that it's always easy to say that we're supporting police officers. That's the easiest thing in the world. If you ask a crowd who supports police officers, I think most, if not all, of the hands will go up, except for the people that live in Washington in their mom's basement. But what's harder is actually stepping up and doing it. What's harder is not being silent when people are criticizing. And I said that our police department, I know if I called them and there were bullets flying, they would run towards the bullets to save my life. Now, it's a lot easier to run towards social media when bullets are being thrown on social media, because that's nothing compared to what they would do for us. And so I just want to say that publicly, that I'll be there unapologetically supporting our police department. And because of that passion I heard the other night, I want to apologize to my commission and anyone here tonight. In my 8 years, I typically don't respond to negativity up here. I can't remember a time that I have. I'll answer questions, as some of you know, but I just thought that some of that negativity should be addressed, and I don't want it to stand here in these chambers, that someone could come and absolutely impugn our good men and women in our police department. That's not going to stand any longer, and I'm going to use my voice against it anytime I can. And so I bet that was a little bit shocking to some of the commissioners up here, because I try not to respond to that stuff, but anyways, I just had to say that. And now the last thing, moving on, is I did get to meet with, I had the CFO, Jimmy Petronas, contact me and wanted to meet with me last week, so I met with him. We went over some things, but particularly they found a little, we don't know how much money, and I wish our finance director was here, but apparently they found some money for us. I don't know how much. He said it was a little bit, but he's going to get some money back from the coffers that's owed to the city. So it was a good meeting. I just wanted to.
That's good, man.
Yeah. So I don't know how much yet. I don't want to get too excited. It's like $1,000, $500, but. That was exciting to hear. So anyways, that's all I have for now. And tonight we'll start with Mr. Danio. We never start with you.
Mayor, some people are in occupations that may not be the best representative of those occupations and reflect that as such. And I think sometimes those people maybe get carried away with their comments. But we don't hold anything against you. You were speaking for all of us. So I have to go to the hospital to visit my mom, and I hope I don't run into any of those representatives. Because I saw them.
Hopefully it's a different hospital.
Yeah, let's hope, yeah. But, no, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Vice Mayor.
Two things, maybe five things. That's how my brain works. But many of you noticed that the clearing is beginning at the RV park on Flomish. It's an exciting time. And the owner contacted me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, we'd like to have a ribbon cutting. Well, we don't have a Chamber of Commerce anymore, so we can't really have a ribbon cutting. So she was thinking if there was a date and a time that she could arrange to have her contractors there would the city be able to participate and come like if it was a Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting? So I told her I'd ask the commission and see if we could get the support. It does take a little bit of manpower because we asked some of the department heads to leave their jobs and go over and support the business. But we typically don't do that. I think this is the first big project that's come forward without our local Chamber of Commerce. So I told her I'd bring it up, and I was hopeful that the commission would support that idea. I don't know what it's going to look like or how it's going to get done, but I think it's a huge.
Wouldn't it be more of a groundbreaking or something?
Yeah. What did I say?
Ribbon cutting.
I'm sorry. I mean a groundbreaking.
Okay,
so.
that makes more sense.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, we would do it if we had a chamber. Unfortunately, we don't, so I don't see why we can't do that if requested. And I think that's actually something we had talked about that on.
We joined the Daytona Beach Chamber so that if businesses join the Daytona Beach Chamber and have a groundbreaking or ribbon cutting, we would be notified and could participate.
I think we also mentioned that if somebody requested it, we might try to see what we could do.
So
I don't have a.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think we should, yeah.
And many of you have been very supportive of the Kiwanis Read, and Mr. Laguerre, I have a wonderful T-shirt here for you to show everyone. Has the alternative logo on the back here, you can see. So today was the first trial run of our reading program. It's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 11. If you haven't signed up and you'd like to participate, go to, type in the Google machine, Volusia County Schools volunteer form, and it'll pop up. It's the first thing that'll pop up. Fill out that form for the Volusia County Schools. You can show up at the school anytime between 9 and 11, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was there today. If you, somehow they lost my thing, you can come in as a visitor. If you come in as a visitor to the school, you have to be escorted. If you fill out the form as a volunteer and you're cleared, you can walk unescorted around the campus. So big distinction. But it was great. We had probably 75 kids today. We had probably 8 readers.
That's good.
I was amazed how well first grade kids read. I didn't know you could read in first grade. It's been a long time since my kids were little. But it was very interesting. All the children are different. All the children have different attention spans and have different gifts. But it was fun. It was exciting. Talked to our outgoing principal, Mr. Vogus. He's still on campus, wrapping things up, and our new principal will be there soon as she's wrapping up things at her current campus. So it's exciting. If you can go online and register, they would love to have you. You might have one kid one-on-one, or you might have 6 kids sitting on the carpet, but it was fun. Time well spent. So they're doing a good job over there. They're trying, and we're going to do our best to help support them. So that's it.
See my daughter?
Thank you, Vice.
No.
It's Holly Hill, right?
Yeah.
Right, she's doing summer camp there too, so
Yeah.
3rd grade. She's doing second grade.
We're doing kindergarten, first and second in the media center.
I'm surprised you didn't see her.
All right, Commissioner Curry.
Thank you. And I would just like to say, when people spew rhetoric that has so much negativity and hatefulness to it, it's hard for me to take them serious in their occupation that they have chosen, because I don't think that occupation was chosen for them. Maybe they listened to somebody else to tell them they should be doing that. I'm about to lose it with this man. He says so much hateful, untrue stuff, and to be in the position that he is. Yes, we received a proposal from the sheriff's office. As a matter of fact, I believe I'm the one that said in our shade meeting that I want to see the proposal. I thought it was only fair. Everybody else agreed, for the citizens of this community, that we look at a proposal. So we received a proposal. I can tell you, coming from a law enforcement background, Chitwood does a great job as a sheriff. But for us to have our own local law enforcement, he could save us a little over $1 million, but you're not going to have the staffing you have right now. When I saw the one-page proposal, I was a little disappointed, Sheriff Chitwood, in what we received, but In the proposal we received that I saw, you're talking 2 deputies for our city. And, oh, well, we have access to a sergeant that's in District 3, which is the whole area, Ormond, all the way to Daytona, that our people would have access to. They do now, under mutual aid. We'd have access to the 4 district deputies in District 3. We have that now through mutual aid. So the only thing under the proposal that we would receive would be 2 deputies on a shift. And then I think it was a few days a week a traffic officer. So, no, we're not comparing apples to apples. We're comparing apples to oranges. Again, Sheriff's Office is an outstanding agency. Sheriff Chitwood leads them well. My husband is a deputy. But they don't belong here. They belong in the county. We need to rebuild this department and show our police officers that are there, and we have a lot of young officers that are going to make great officers in just a short time with the right leadership. And I think that the captain chosen by Mr. Forte and the other chiefs, which they're all great chiefs, I know all of them. Fowler, I knew from the time he was a reserve in Daytona Beach Shores. He worked his way all the way up to chief, great chief. So I feel confident in knowing that they selected this chief. And from what I understand, he was a standout. There wasn't anybody close second. And I think we're really going to be able to benefit from this new chief. But the word on the street is that Sheriff's Office can do it cheaper. Well, yeah, they can, but you're not going to get the same people, personnel-wise, that you have currently to staff this police department. And I have mostly heard in our community, there's a few negative out there to go with the SO, but the majority of the people in this community that have spoke to me want us to keep our police department. They don't want us going to the sheriff's office. We go to the sheriff's office, you're never going to have a police department again. It will be impossible to try to build an agency here with selling off all your capital, your police cars, all your equipment. You won't do it. And I just don't think we will receive the service because of the number of people that we're being offered. It's not what we have now. So it's not even a fair proposal with regards to people, you know, I don't even know what all he said. But the second thing I want to touch on is this IA, the Internal Affairs investigation. It's been going on since March. Mr. Forte was forward-thinking and immediately turned it over to the sheriff's office, which is something typically done so that the agency is not investigating themselves. How confident would you be the report would you be that the report would be done correctly? That's why typically the sheriff's office would be the ones doing the internal affairs investigation. There are state laws that you're not allowed to release any of that information, and the people involved are not allowed to talk about it, release information, until the conclusion. Once there's a conclusion, which there is, Mr. Forte received the report, I think Wednesday or Thursday, there's 45 days given in state law for him to review what he received and make a conclusion to what his disciplinary actions are going to be. Once he serves his disciplinary actions, then it becomes public record. And yes, the entire investigation, minus redactions for victims, for social security numbers, for whatever information can't be released by law, once that's all redacted, people can request it all day long. It's public record. I've seen some things on Facebook that are like, well, are we going to receive the whole record, and are they just going to give us what they... No. State law says that once he's concluded, and he has up to 45 days, I don't want him hurrying. I want him to read through this report thoroughly, because it's thick. And then he can come to his conclusion for disciplinary action and implement that, and then everybody can be in the know that wants to be in the know. So it's just all this negativity that keeps going out and misinformation, and I just really wish people would call, ask me, I'll tell you. Call any of these other commissioners, we're going to tell you what we can. This is the most, the transparency by this man is crazy sometimes, because that's what it's all about for Mr. Forte. He wants to be transparent with the public, and I 100% support that, and so do the rest of us that sit up here. So I don't know why people are still living in the days of Jim McCroskey. Yes, that man still haunts me. I don't know why we still live in those days as citizens, because we're not there anymore. We do have a transparent commission and city manager. So I just wanted to set those records straight. I kind of went through the process of the internal affairs investigation and time limit. Scott, did I say anything that was incorrect?
No.
So I just want you guys to know, and people out there listening, what the actual truth is. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you, Commissioner. All right, and with that, I didn't ask...
One last thing.
Yes.
Roy Johnson, keep him in prayer.
Yes.
In our prayers, for sure. I should have added him into my invocation.
Yeah, I
He's
spaced it out.
completely
I thought about that when I was going to say my
Yeah.
closing comments, and then I totally,
Yeah.
I'm looking this way, and I totally forgot.
Yeah. All right, is there any further business before this commission?
You were about to say something else.
Me?
Yeah.
I was just going to ask if Mr. Simpson had anything, because I forgot to ask you before I started in. No?
I'll let
And
you know.
Mrs. Manning? All right. With that, there's no further business before us, so this meeting is adjourned.